This is a short review of week 5 of Patrick Lecture 87, The Next Phase of the Path. And this section I entitled The Desire to Judge Others. I'm playing a little bit of catch up here because I took 2 weeks off to go to the International Patrick Conference in Europe, and I skipped weeks 4 and 5, and so I'm catching up on their videos. One of the reasons I picked Patrick Lecture 87 is it's a Q&A session, meaning it's all over the place. It's got very interesting questions and answers from the guide, and I thought it would, please excuse the expression, I thought it would be entertaining. I thought it would be self-explanatory to a lot of people and wouldn't need direct facilitation or help with understanding it. However, later I realized that, like every concept, some people are a little mystified. So I wanted to go into them briefly. So the desire to judge others. The spiritual concept of justice is based on spiritual law. Spiritual law, according to the Patrick Lectures, is perfect. And therefore, each person receives the justice they deserve. That is a horrendously huge process that cannot be replicated on this planet. Our courts, our councils of elders, our institutions cannot possibly account for the unique aspect of each individual case. And that's presuming they knew the details of each case. Spiritual justice is based on our Akashic record history. It's based upon our arc of development. At one point, the guide says that those in the beginning of their development are judged with a little bit more softness than those who are at the end, because naturally those who have had more development, experience, and learning need to be better at what they're trying to do than people who are in the beginning. Kindergarteners are not expected to achieve what a graduate student is expected to achieve. So justice is tempered by where we are in our arc, what we have actually done in our heart of hearts, in our energetic reality, rather than the actions we have taken. But on the planet, all we've got are the actions. All we've got are the proof and the evidence. And we cannot look into the individual human heart, the individual human spirit. Therefore, justice on this planet is not perfect. So when we judge others, we are also working with imperfect information. I found it helpful to research and discover articles on how human beings value narrative and story. We need them, we use them. It's an everyday tool we use. When I tell you what I did this morning, I recount a story of how I woke up and what I did and who I called and what I sat down to do, the errand I ran. And this narrative allows me to remember details, and it allows me to get a sense of who I am and what I'm doing. This is all positive. However, when we try to string a narrative together and we don't have all the realities, I'm trying not to call them facts, because facts are a part of reality. They're just not the entire thing. When I'm trying to string together a narrative or a story and I don't have all the aspects of reality that were involved, I'm going to fill in the blanks based on my beliefs. I'm going to fill in the blanks based on my fears, my agendas, my forcing currents, my desires, whatever I've got at hand. And that's what we do when we judge others. We are judging them based upon what we perceive, which is not the entire picture, based on their actions, which is only one element of who they are, and based on our imperfect and limited ability to see what is the next step. In other words, justice should be supportive of someone moving on to the next step. It's meant to be supportive of development, not a judgment bad, good, go this way, go that way, go to jail, go free. That's human justice. So we've allowed the concept of human justice to take over a broader understanding of spiritual justice. So there was a video that I watched entitled, How Well Do You Know Your Dog? And this was from the Washington Post, but the essence of it is that the reporter decided that they might be misinterpreting what their dog was feeling. So they took the dog and they blanked out the circumstances around the dog. They used Photoshop or something so that you only saw the dog. And they would show the dog something and have the dog react. And then they would erase the circumstances and only show you the reaction. And what the article was about was that we misinterpret the reactions of a dog. Now, dog reactions aren't that complicated. And if we can't read a dog reaction, I don't know how we would expect to read the complexity of a human reaction. So I found such an article very illustrative of how willing we are to gamble and say the dog is angry, the dog is happy, the dog is sad, without knowing the circumstances and just based on our putting together the pieces of what we saw. So this is all relating to, we have a desire to judge, to finish, to put into concrete, to make a decision so that we can move on. And that desire to judge can often lead to injustice. Now, in the real world, decisions are necessary, but decisions are not justice. And decisions by themselves are not judgments. They are the best I can do based on the information I have. And then when you get more information, one should review. However, the institutions that we have created make that a difficult process, also filled with their own prejudices, their own agendas, where nobody wants to reconsider everything they've ever done. They want to just keep moving onwards. So small chat about the desire to judge others, week 5 of Pathwork Lecture 87, next phase on the path.